Genesis, the book of beginnings. The book of Genesis is the first book of the Bible. It tells the story of the beginning of everything. The very first words in Genesis, in the beginning, are some of the most important words ever written. Genesis introduces us to God, the one true creator. The book tells us about God's love for us and his plan for our salvation. Genesis is divided into two main parts: primeval history and patriarchal history. These stories teach us about who we are, where we came from, and where we are going. Genesis is divided into primeval history and patriarchal history. Primeval history spans the first 11 chapters, narrating the creation of the universe and the fall from grace. We learn about God's power, love, and the consequences of human sin. Patriarchal history focuses on Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. These patriarchs are chosen by God to be the foundation of his chosen people. Their stories highlight faith, obedience, and God's faithfulness. The creation story sets the stage for understanding the significance of the patriarchs. The opening chapter of Genesis proclaims, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." This statement reveals God as the ultimate source of all that exists. The creation narrative unfolds with poetic beauty, describing the formation of light, land, plants, and animals. The climax of creation is the formation of man and woman made in the image of God. We are called to be stewards of creation, to love and care for the world entrusted to us. Genesis presents a paradise, a garden where harmony reigns, but this scene is shattered by the serpent's temptation and humanity's disobedience. Adam and Eve choose their will over God's, leading to the fall. Paradise is lost, and sin enters the world. The harmony between God and humanity is broken, yet God offers a glimmer of hope, promising a Redeemer. This promise foreshadows the coming of Jesus Christ. The story of Cain and Abel illustrates the destructive power of sin. From chaos to covenant, a journey of faith. The primeval history doesn't end in despair. The story of Noah's Ark is a testament to God's justice and faithfulness. Humanity faces God's judgment in the form of a great flood. Yet Noah finds favor in God's eyes and builds an ark to preserve life. The floodwaters recede and a new covenant is established. The rainbow becomes a symbol of God's promise. Patriarchs, pillars of faith, bearers of promise. The patriarchal history introduces key figures who shaped the destiny of Israel. Abraham becomes the father of faith, trusting in God's promises. Isaac embodies the theme of inheritance and God's faithfulness. Jacob, though flawed, receives a new name, Israel, signifying transformation. Joseph's story reveals how God can work through difficult circumstances to fulfill his purposes. Genesis unveiled theological foundations. Genesis lays the foundation for key theological truths. Creation, God is the sole creator of everything. Sin, the fall introduces the reality of sin and its impact on humanity's relationship with God. Covenants, God establishes covenants with Noah and Abraham, foreshadowing the new covenant through Jesus Christ. Divine providence, the stories of the patriarchs highlight God's providence. Genesis and us, a timeless message. The book of Genesis speaks with timeless relevance to our lives today. It addresses fundamental questions about our origins, purpose, and relationship with God. The creation narrative reminds us of our inherent dignity as bearers of God's image. The fall warns us of the dangers of sin and our need for redemption. The stories of the patriarchs teach us about faith, obedience, and trusting in God's promises. Genesis points us towards hope, reminding us that God is at work, inviting us to be part of his story.